Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. We appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to listen to some of the things that we have to share. And welcome. Sorry there's no cookies and coffee. Somebody already checked me on that. But we'll get back on track next month. The ballroom will be available. Right now it's being painted, part of a refresh we'll talk about a little bit later. And I'm just looking around the theater, just in the last 6 months, we redid the stage. We have brand new curtains, and we have brand new lighting, and we have stair lighting going up the stair rails. So there's some nice improvements that took place just in this one facility the last 6 months. And we're trying to keep pace at all the facilities for sure. So I'll just run through some things in my report that I give to the board that might be of interest. Financial-wise, we're doing good through July. I don't have August numbers yet. We should probably get them next week, but through July we're favorable to budget by still $864,000. All the amenities now are in the red to some degree, except for, let me get that right now. All the revenues collectively show a favorable variance to budget, $390,000. Theater is the only one operating at a deficit right now. And that's pretty much all revenue related. The revenue that they booked for the budget this year, for whatever reason, doesn't seem achievable. And we probably won't get there, and they'll probably finish about 60 or 70,000 short on the budget. And we're in the middle of budgets right now. And it's easy when you're looking at the two main components, revenue and expenses, to pump up revenue to have an impact on how much the assessment's adjusted. But you got to be careful when you get too excited about revenue projections, because it's easy to set those targets, but sometimes they're not realistic to get. And if you don't get the revenue, there's nothing you can do to fix that. On the expense side, you can always tighten the belt. But if you get over aggressive on revenue, which I think they did here in theater last year's budget, they're going to fall short. And we'll just have to figure out how to deal with that as we budget for 2026. Talking about budget, there will be a special meeting of the Finance Committee and the board on September 15th, open meeting. It's going to be in the ballroom. I believe it starts at 1:30. That's going to be our first budget presentation. So if you're interested in learning more about the budget, it will be recorded. You can watch it online. If you want to stay home and have a glass of wine and watch it, that's fine too. But that's when it's going to take place. So that's our first shot. We've been working for the last couple months on budget. In this business, you work on budget 6 months out of the year. So we're at the end pretty much of our process. We're still meeting with managers. Today we have 4 more budgets to do, and we're pretty much wrapped up, and we'll meet with our board president tomorrow and our treasurer to go over our projections. So we'll start having those conversations at that level. On the CIF front, we're in pretty good shape. 69% of the people have weighed in, so it's 2,145. That's a great percentage of activity. And we can't see the mail-in or the walk-in ballots, but we can see the electronic ballots, because those are recorded and reported as soon as we forward them, or as soon as they get it, they forward it to us so we can see it. We have 1,335 in favor of the CIF versus 810 against. So we have a 575 vote spread. We can definitely cover Robeson's votes if they choose to vote no again. And so far it looks like it's pretty much a done deal. We all announced the results on September 16th, and if it passes that measure, we will put that into effect October 1st. We've already let the title companies know that there's a probability that it's coming. Okay, election is right around the corner. A couple key dates: September 2nd, announcement of the annual board election. I think that went out in yesterday's Monday message. Monday, September 8th, good to know article to be inserted in Monday message. And then September 22nd, call for candidates. So if you've ever had any interest in running for the board, you might want to think about it, right? It's not a great deal of responsibility unless you're in one of the key positions. Like if you're the president, you'll probably spend more time than just maybe a director might spend. But if you want to get your feet wet and learn how this business runs and see behind the scenes of everything that we're doing and have a say in the direction the community heads, the board's a good spot. And we're looking for 2 board members this cycle. We have Matt Kimbick and Sean Kreideman, whose terms expire. I don't know if they're running again. I would lean towards no, based on conversations, but they might change their mind. So 2 spots open. If you want to know anything about how the board runs, you can talk to a board member, you can talk to me. I'd be glad to sit down with you and tell you what I know about that, okay? So call for candidates September 22nd. Finances are in good shape. We got dinged in August for revenue. It's a slow month. We'll probably lose 100,000 or better bottom line, but now we're getting into September and in the busy time of the year, and I think we'll fare just fine between now and the end of the year. I think our 5-year or our year-end forecast says we'll be around $600,000 favorable, and I think that's a pretty good number. So interesting, I have some stats here. People that come into the admin office, on an average basis, about 1,500 people a month. Just a did you know number, 1,500 a month. 99% of the people have paid their second half of their dues, which is really good. We really don't have a accounts receivable concern like some communities do. So most of the people pay their bills and their assessments on time. Talked about budget. 9:15 is the first shot. If we don't get it right that time, we come back 10:13, and then there's a main public meeting on 10:28, and the board approves it on 11:20. That's the schedule. So lawsuits. We were clear on lawsuits. We didn't have anything on the lawsuit radar, and then here's a situation that happened. We had an owner who was having their water softener cleaned out, and the contractor took the old water softener and dumped the contacts into the rain gutter on the street, and all the water and the little beads, silicone beads, went down the street, and somebody from outside the community was riding their bike, and guess what? They slipped on those beads, and down they went, and they had multiple injuries. Now we're named in a $10 million lawsuit. I don't know that we have a lot of liability, but when these things happen, everybody that's associated with anything gets named in the lawsuit. So that's the only thing we have on the legal front. The Manning house, the vacant house that we had that we foreclosed on, there's been some recent communication. We'll probably bring a discussion to the board maybe in October about whether or not it makes sense to figure out how to buy this house and then get rid of it, because HUD's not going to do anything with it till they get their money. So I'll share more with everybody once we put a package together for the board to consider, but probably October board meeting for that. The employee holiday party is December 12th. I got here right before that last year. It seems to be a pretty big event, and that's the date that we're going to be holding it this year. We're in the process of conducting a compensation study with other large-scale communities around the country. That's all good information. We're benchmarking all of our positions, so probably 30, 40 positions, and we'll get to see what benefits and what pays and those types of things that employees are getting from similar communities, okay? On the golf front, all good on the golf front. They just held the Folds of Honor tournament this week, and it was a big success. Right here, played in the tournament with a couple of our other employees, and it was a big event. It's great that we can do that. When I was in San Diego, we used to do tunnels to towers, and whenever you can do those types of events for your vets and there's people who are associated with veterans in need, it's a great thing. Golf operations is positive. The budget it looks really good. They'll take it on the chin, like I said, in August for revenue. It's been slow. Food and beverage, they're in the hole a little bit. I think here I wrote, through the end of July, the combined operation is reporting a net loss of 111. The good news is that we're still 30,000 ahead of last year. Preserve is only 20,000 in the hole. Mountain View is 92. The majority of that is banquet. Banquet business here again. I think when the budget process was taking place last year, they got a little lofty in their expectations. We're not going to hit those banquet numbers now moving forward, I don't think. So we'll probably fall short of that. But once we get through September or August and mid-September, we'll start seeing those numbers move around. Food and beverage operates on margins. All of our margins for beverages, for food, they're all in the pocket. For labor, we're managing the industry standards and we're running the business the way it needs to be run. I think we'll have a good finish in Q4. All the menus are going to be updated in October. So if you're looking for new things on the menu, October is going to be the month where you see some really cool things on the menu. I have had the opportunity to taste a few of those plates, and there's some good things coming. We have the I Don't Want It sale. I don't know much about that. I've not done it, but somebody came to me and said, some of our members who might not be in the best of health might want to take part in this event, but have a hard time schlepping their stuff down to Mountain View. Would it be a good idea to maybe open that up as a community event and let people get rid of their stuff from their own driveways? There's a rule that says we can't do that. And Michael Lean from the Rules Committee shaking his head no right now. But we're gonna ask the Rules Committee to consider doing something like that It's up to them if they want to open that door. But he came to us, and we thought we'd process it. Look, if you come to me with an idea, I'm going to run it up the flagpole. If we can get something done, we will. If we won't, I'll come back and say we couldn't do it. But this is one of those things that we're going to run up the flagpole. Farmers Market comes back in October. Desert Days planning. We're in the process of still planning for Desert Day, October 4th. We're raffling off 2 tickets. Those are a $35 value. We're raffling them off today. It's going to be a great event, a great community event. It's open to the public. We got some good marketing and promotions going on. We hope we get at least 300 or 400 people. We have a 5K walk run. We'll have a beer garden. We'll have a lot of food opportunities, a couple bands. We'll have a dog area, and we'll have a bunch of vendor booths. So I think it's going to be a fun day, October 4th. It's a morning, early afternoon event. The goats. They're doing pretty well. They're in Unit 36, and they're knocking out some brush, that's for sure. And we're finishing up 36, and we're going to move over to 50, and then we're going to move over to 49. That's the plan, and we're going to keep those goats running for the next couple months. Okay, so it's a good tandem, the goats and our guys. I think the end product is really good. And Larry, our landscape manager, is trying to find that balance. I mean, regarding how much cleaning we do and how much we leave. And he's still newer here, and he's figuring that out. But he's concerned about getting it right, and I think that's a good concern. The bridge here, right on Clubhouse Drive, right out front here, washed out. If you go for a walk and you walk that area, if you look over the side, it washed out pretty bad in that last storm. And we're going to have to do some engineering on that bridge and figure out the best way to repair it. But it is a pretty gnarly repair, and I figure it's probably going to cost $20,000, $30,000 to get that fixed right. Road sealing and crack sealing, those are all going to be taking place in October. Ray's going to be managing those projects. Pickleball storage addition, that's been completed. The pool gate renovation project, it's complete at Mountain View. It's underway at the Preserve. And then when that's done, they're going to move to Desert View. They'll come down here. The Mountain View pool ladders, the powder-coated railings finally arrived. That was the last part of that renovation project. They've been installed, so that's good. They're painting walls in 14. I'm going to be looking at bids for 15 and 17, I think, this week. Bill McGinn advised me yesterday. Mountain House Clubhouse patios. Have you used the patios? They look great, man. They were looking really tired when I went out there a few months ago. So I was working with Bill, and we got that scheduled up and fixed all the drywall repair, painted everything, cleaned everything up, washed everything down, gave it a good paint job, and installed new lighting. And it really looks nice out there. That was a good improvement. The Mountain View Clubhouse renovation project, the board signed off on that in August, part 1, and that is the painting of the clubhouse interior. It is all the flooring and the bathroom renovation. So we're in the process of painting right now. The project's going to span from right now and finish up the carpets, I think, early January after the first of the year. So we finished up the main lobby and the snoring room earlier this week or late last week, and this week we're in the ballroom. We should be out of the ballroom end of this week. Next week we'll start down the activity room hallway. So we have a good schedule. We have a committed team, and we're trying to make this as least disruptive as we can. And as far as I'm concerned, I want to hit every single time target that we presented to the board. And as I told my team, we're about 8 people on this team. We're managing close to vest, and we're trying to get it done properly. Preserve project, another big project that's going to be getting started here. You know, we painted the Preserve building. Looks really good. We met yesterday to find an opaque stain to paint that discolored stained or colored concrete that's out front. We're going to be doing that, but we're also getting ready to start September this week, I think, renovating both pool shells up there. They're going to be cleaned, repaired, new quartz coatings, and a brand new deck. And we're figuring out how to get some new furniture too. So that's a great project. That's going to be a complete facelift for the exterior of that facility. All 4 golf course restroom renovations are complete, I think. Bill was talking to me yesterday about that. He's going to go out and inspect, but that was a great project. They needed a lot of work. They were just kind of, they're just kind of left out there by themselves. Nobody was paying much attention to them for a while, but they look really good. They look sharp now. And the final Preserve tennis court is going to be cleaned, repaired, and coated and striped here in September as well. We coordinated through Chuck Hill, one of our directors, a conversation between the dog park and the softball organization to allow the dog park to grab electricity from the softball field. It's a permitted project, but they'll pay for it too. to have electricity run to the dog park so they can have a defibrillator out there, they can have electricity for events or anything like that they need. And I thought Chuck did a good job managing that conversation. Mapping and drainage, we are working on units 44B right now. The rest of our community is pretty much mapped well, but 44B is not. We're in talks with Robeson about when the appropriate time is to turn that over. We don't want it yet. We think there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. I sent Robeson yesterday a study that was done by Art. How do you say Art's last name? Kopsak. Art's a retired, I think, Army Corps engineer guy, civil engineer. He's done a lot of work on the mapping out here. He spent a lot of time putting together a great presentation on 44B and the concerns that we have with some of the earthwork that they're doing out there. And I sent it up to Robeson yesterday requesting that their team have a meeting with our team, and Sarsom, Jack, responded that he's going to get his land division together and come to the table. So I'll let you know how that goes when we have that conversation. There's a event that's planned via, I think, the Souderbrook Political Action Committee, right? October 20th, scams, and it's going to be put on by the Attorney General's office, Arizona Attorney General's office. It's going to be right here. So look for promotions in Monday Message and online. The state land purchase is still working. I guess the next steps are they're going to get that appraised. They're going to put it up for sale. It's got to be up for sale, I think, for 45 days. I can't imagine anybody else wanting it. I did some research on what something like that might cost. My research came back to say maybe 40, 50,000. I don't know if that's a good number, but we'll find out as soon as they put it up for sale. So moving forward, my priorities are budget, the Mountain View refresh, managing the rest of the board manual objectives that the board established early in the year, completing as many reserve projects as we can. You're not going to get a break bill. We still have a lot of work to do. Continue building and engaging my team. My team's doing a great job. I got to tell you, I've been on board now 8.5 months, and I've really made a connection with my fellow employees, and I think everybody's engaged, and I think everybody's coming to work to make a difference, and I think that makes a difference. We're going to be working on Firewise. That's another initiative between now and the end of the year. We just had a great discussion with the water department this morning. We had 8 or 9 people in the office with their team. We're still concerned about the building. We're still concerned about what they say they deliver and what we receive. So we're working on a few objectives. We're going to be circling back with them in a month, but it's an item that we're paying attention to. And then in November, we're going to complete a community survey. We want to go out with that survey that was done by McMahon and that group a couple years ago, the same survey, so that the data we collect are on the same questions, so we can compare whether or not we're doing better or we're doing worse. So I think that'd be good information for the community. And I don't have anything else to report. This is your gathering to ask questions. Ray, you have anything?
No, you covered it.
All right. So we're open for questions. If it's too tough to get to the mic, you can tell me your question and I'll announce it on the mic, whatever you want to do. Anybody have any questions? We have a couple traveling mics too, or just these two? Okay. Any questions? Okay, we'll call it a wrap. October 18th, Health Fair. So put it on your calendar. When I came here, when I was interviewing for the job, I went and it was October after I accepted the job, and I was looking for a house, and I came out here from California, and I went to have breakfast at the Clubhouse, and I noticed a health fair was going on, and I thought that was pretty cool. It was pretty crowded that day. There was a lot going on. So October 18th, good event, sure. Anybody else? This could be a first. Yeah. All right, so back in the bag. I'll bring you a mic. Here you go.
Here. Oh, there we go. There you go. Okay. Just a comment, and I've said it before, and there's an expression about sliced bread. You, my friend, are the best thing to happen since sliced bread.
Yeah. There you go. We got a hand up, Bill.
Hey, Debbie, how you doing?
You know, one of the things we did that I'm taking a little heat for is that we moved all of our employee parking at the Mountain View Clubhouse from around the back where the solar array is all the way over to the other side of the Clubhouse parking lot. And I did that because I had a few complaints from people who used the arts and crafts rooms last year when it was the busy season. They said, look, you know, your employees are taking up all the prime spots. So I told my team back in May, I said, look, come September 1st, we're all parking down there. And I'm taking some heat for that. But everybody's getting their steps in, so it's good. Yeah.
It's a 20-minute walk to our office.
Can you tell me where the land is that we're looking at purchasing, that acre and a half or acre and a quarter or whatever it is?
Okay, so where that land is, Ray could probably explain it better than me.
Well, it's directly adjacent to the existing golf facility on Sandcrest.
Is that to house both Preserve and Mountain View?
No,
employee?
it will not. The preserve will stay where they are, up off of Peregrine, and so it'll be golf at Mountain View as well as common area and potentially some facilities, offices, and maybe some storage over there. You know, one of the issues we have around here is, in fact, lack of storage. And, you know, storage is costly because it's just a place for storing stuff, but when you run an operation like this, it's nice to have. So we'll put some additional storage over there as well.
So if we're fortunate enough to be able to purchase that acre and a quarter, you know, we'll have to start figuring out what the plan is moving forward, right? I mean, we're going to have to figure out what we want to do. So we'll probably bring on an outside consultant or an architect, and we'll start talking about programming. What are the things that we need to have in this facility? So you'll go through the programming stage and figure out what all those needs are, and then you'll move into a conceptual of what it might look like, and then schematics and design development, and then construction docs. That whole process can easily take a year. And then once we have that process done, then we can start going out and seeing what a project that costs. And the board can have two options, right? You can go design bid and design build. And the difference between the two is design bid is where you go through that whole process I just explained, get your construction documents, and bring your GCs to the table and say, okay, here's a project, guys. Everybody give me a bid. Or you could go design build, which means you could develop your team up front, choose your architect, choose your contractor, choose your margins. It's an open book process. Work with that contractor and the architect the whole way through construction documents, which limits change orders. It really does, and gives you a clear understanding of how all the money's spent, because it's an open book process. They have to show us what their expenses are and what their markups are. So that'll be a decision the board has to make. I'm a fan on big projects like this to go design build, because you bring your team together from the beginning and you're there to the very end with the same team. So that'll be a discussion we have with the board, and they'll have to give me direction. Okay, guys, it looks like you're all free to go. Thank you. Oh, wait. I got to do the raffle. These are for Desert Day tickets. Are the White Cops here? Okay, you got 2 Desert Day tickets for the White Cops. You can check with Justin and Michelle on the way out. And I added another one. Michelle Wilson, you got 2 tickets too. So we hope to see you there. And thanks for coming, everybody. We enjoy doing this, so thanks.